Hi fantasy managers, welcome to FPL Team Talk. So lots of managers have pulled the trigger on their wildcard already. I'm going to put together my wildcard team for game week 7. Stick around because at the end we'll do a bit of tinkering and lots of different options. If you enjoy these sorts of videos, don't forget to give it a like, subscribe, lots more content coming your way. And in the meantime, let's take a look. Let's start off in goal then. I'm going for Aaron Ramsdale, 5 million. He's got two good fixtures coming up. Then they do turn a little bit for the worse. You've got Tottenham, then Liverpool. Leeds away won't be an easy game. Their XGC, so their expected goals conceded this season, is pretty good. 0.7. I think only Manchester City topped them in terms of expected goals conceded. So they've been pretty tight this season. Ramsdale's fixtures, when they get difficult, as we'll see in a minute, they actually dovetail quite nicely with Ward, who's the lowest rated, priced playing goalkeeper. Let me get it right, 4 million. So when they play Tottenham and Liverpool, we've got Forest and Bournemouth. I don't mind playing Ward in those games. So for 4 million, he could come in and act as a bit of a dovetail, or you can play Ramsdale right through them. Reece James will be my first one at the back. His XGI is still pretty good. So even though that Chelsea defence has been a little bit disappointing so far, not keeping clean sheets, James is returning, he's scoring, he's assisting. Now he's playing at right wing back, hopefully permanently now that Fofana's come in. It releases him to go out wide. Those fixtures look really nice. So even against Liverpool at home, I don't think I'd have too many worries about still playing him just because he's so good going forward. You compare him to lots of Cancelo and Trent, he just absolutely works forward them at the moment. He is being fantastic. Alongside him, talking of which, yeah, I'm going to put Trent in. His fixtures do not look that kind in the medium term. Wolves at home, I would definitely want him. Brighton, yes. Chelsea, Arsenal, Man City look difficult. And he has, as a Trent owner, only really hauled once so far in 6 weeks. So it's not been good. His XGI remains okay, but not at last year's levels. And I think it's fair to say Liverpool just haven't been playing at last year's levels either. But there's definitely options for him. But we'll have a look at those at the end and tinker around. But 7.5, I still think he's one of the best options around. And I do want to weigh into that Liverpool defence. Nico Williams, 4.1. He's just an enabler to start with, but I think he's much more with those fixtures. Not only are you saving a lot of money, his XGI is pretty decent as well. Picked up an assist this weekend, and those fixtures look okay. Those fixtures look decent. Nico Williams really pushing forward and getting forward. And you compare his XGI to the rest of the top performing players, you're paying a fraction of the price, but getting a decent player as well. Forest, clean sheets is always going to be the issue for that, I guess. Talking of clean sheets, Walker, I do want a Manchester City player in there. He doesn't offer much going forward, but with those fixtures, I just want a Man City player in my defence. He offers a way into it very cheaply at 5.1. Emerson, at the moment, is just producing nothing, but he is playing for West Ham. They've had some tricky games. They've had lots of Tottenham. They've had just recently away at Chelsea. So I think with the fixtures coming out, they could possibly turn a corner. And for 4 million, if Emerson's playing, let's see if he's going to bring some attacking returns with him. If he doesn't, I'm happy to bench him. But I still think there's a lot of clean sheet potential for a £4 million player playing in a West Ham defence who's got Wolves, Fulham, Southampton, Everton. Those are some really nice fixtures. Even at home to Newcastle, you couldn't rule out getting a clean sheet. So I think him for a differential is a really interesting, quite a brave pick. But I do like the idea of having him in there. In terms of midfield then, I think we've got to go Martinelli, 6.5. He's gone up by $500,000 already, but he's still good value. 0.79, right up there. Better than Sterling's XGI. Not as good as Salah or De Bruyne, but you're not paying that sort of price. And he's got Everton, Brentford, and as we'll see later, their fixtures do get more difficult, but he's returning. I do want an Arsenal midfielder such as Martinelli in for those 2 games, so he definitely comes in. Alongside him, we've got the big hitters. We've got De Bruyne, excellent XG 0.97, good fixtures coming up. He's already had a rest, so I'm pretty happy that he's going to be playing in that midfield permanently for Man City. The fact that Haaland's there just adds his appeal in terms of assists. He is expensive, that's the only thing I'd say, but I do think with that defence, you've already got a lot of savings already there. I don't mind going to De Bruyne. I think he can haul big. He does tend to haul sort of small and consistent. ticking over, but he's a captaincy option as well. Alongside De Bruyne, then we'll go St. Maximin. He's missed the last 2 games, so we'll have to be careful about when he's coming back. Hopefully it will be for the West Ham game, but then he's got Bournemouth, Fulham, Brentford. XGR is good. When he plays, last 2 games, 13 and 9 points, he looks really good. 6.5, again, not in terms of Martinelli XGI, but definitely in terms of Martinelli, the amount of points he's getting. St. Maximin just looks brilliant. It's just those injuries, isn't it? It's a risk. I mean, you can look at different options later on. But for me now, I'll provisionally put him in. The same with James Maddison. Leicester might be having a bit of a mare. He's actually returning most weeks, and he's got really nice fixtures. Villa at home. Then you've got Tottenham away, will be tricky. Forest, Bournemouth, Palace are 3 sides I wouldn't mind targeting. Great set pieces. XGI is pretty decent, 0.22, nothing to write home about. But again, they've had some difficult games. I think with those fixtures, Maddison pretty nailed in that Leicester side. They've got no European fixtures or distractions. So Rodgers under pressure, he'll definitely be playing every week. We haven't got that worry about rotation we may have had last season. 7.9, I think he's a good option in that midfield. And alongside him, I think we've got to stick with Andreas. 4.6 is really, at his price point, the cheapest playing midfielder who has an attacking threat. And I'm happy to play him away at Forest when he's playing at home to Bournemouth. I think he's a decent option. 4.6, yeah, he's got to come in. And then when we're talking up front, I think a couple of these slots just own themselves. Jesus has been brilliant this season, over 1 XGI. That's fantastic. Good fixtures. He's got to come in. Alongside him, I think there's lots of choices. We'll look at different options. The obvious choice I think will possibly be Tony if you can afford him. Might go this case to keep the price down, and within most of our budgets go for Isaac. 7.2 points, really early days, but his XGI looks really good. Could possibly have done better today and get a return, but again, those fixtures, St. Maximin, Bournemouth, Fulham, Brentford, I think they're really good. Up front, nailed for Newcastle. I think he's a good differential as well. I wouldn't mind playing him. XGI, early days to be able to say that would undoubtedly, I would have thought, come down. But even if he's bounced around the 0.7 mark, that's still really good. And then finally, I don't think any wildcard's going to be complete without including Erling Haaland. Wow, 17, 17, 9. Just unprecedented Salah-like figures. He's just been unbelievable. So he absolutely has to go in. Yes, I think he's a captaincy most options, most week. Wolverhampton at home, definitely. So he's there. I don't think I'm going to complete any wildcard without him. Let's now take a look at some tinkering and different options that you could have. So here is the side. It's in its entirety. 100.5 million. Okay, so that's just, I would have thought, in most of our budgets. If you've got more to spend, I don't think there's anything wrong going from Isaac to Tony. Tony's absolutely on fire. His fixtures look really good. His XGI is excellent. He's less of a punt, it feels, than Isaac, even though Isaac, I'll probably say, has a slightly better set of fixtures. Tony on pens as well. I don't see anything wrong with going either one of those. One thing I do want to address, in this side, we've got 3 Arsenal players. We've got Ramsdale, so we've got a midfield, strike force, and a defender, a goalkeeper. Their next 5 games, they look decent next 2 games, but then they run into Tottenham at home. Not sure I mind playing Ramsdale on that. Liverpool at home. Then Leeds away, which will be quite tricky. Then Manchester City at home. So they have got that nasty run of 3 out of the next 4. Well, after the next 2, 3 out of the next 4 being really tricky. So do I want to? I can't really afford to bench every one of those Arsenal players. So maybe I can start thinking about weeding 1 or 2 of them out. I could go down to a Jesus, down to a Mitrovic. He looks fine. Or if you wanted to go to Tony and own Isaac as well. Those look both decent options. The other thing as well is that Liverpool's fixtures, we've got no Salah in this side. Wolves at home, decent fixture. Brighton at home. You've got Chelsea, Arsenal away, then Manchester City. Then after that, it's even West Ham at home. So again, 4 out of the next 6 fixtures do not look very favourable to Liverpool. Now, don't get me wrong. They could absolutely blitz them. They could win all of those games. We know what they're capable of. But I think I would be a little bit reticent about owning too many of their players. And Trent in particular, with their defence looking a little bit fragile at the moment. Could I bring in a Trippier instead of a Trent? That's definitely an option, I think. That would save you quite a bit of money. The money you could also go from, let's say if you want to take Martinelli out from the Arsenal or down from a Maddison, you could also go that. From all that money, if you really wanted to, and I don't blame you, you could still go to the likes of Diaz or If you wanted to go down from a De Bruyne to Diaz, you could do that. And then you could still perhaps even bring the money in to get Salah. So Salah's not out of the equation. His XGI is still brilliant. He's still a fantastic option. I think those fixtures at the moment, I'm a little bit unsure about putting him in the side. Feels dangerous going without him. Seems crazy sometimes going without him. But I think with De Bruyne, we've got it covered. And just for the next 6 game weeks, perhaps just for the Wolves game, maybe bring him in. After that, I'm not sure I could really trust myself to bring him in. That's it for this one. Let me know if you are wildcarding. Who are you going to bring into your side? Who do you consider to be absolutely essential for your wildcard side for Game Week 7? If you're not, when are you intending to do so? Let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, there's still games to play in Game Week 6, so good luck with the rest of that. We'll be back at you with a review. We'll look at team selection and the watch list later on next week. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. In the meantime, best of luck.